Hello, hello, and welcome everyone to another beautiful Wednesday. Turn on the light. Boom. My name is not important. I'm here to play trap chess with you. Trap chess is a game of chess that is designed with traps hidden in the board. You can hit a square and lose a piece. So I'll show you my traps. I only have one. It's on the F3 square. We're still playing this week where if I lose a game, I'll increase the number of traps I'm taking. So far, I haven't lost a game. You can see down here what trap removes what. If I hit a trap, it will appear on my opponent's side because I only have one trap and my opponent has 16. When this game is over, I can put a new code in the chat and whoever wants to play can play. Hey, what's up, Jim's brother? Thanks for joining. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make a move. Let's do that. We'll just start with something weird, something unusual, something I normally don't do. See how it plays out. How's your week been, Jim's brother? Yeah, I got my lava lamp on in the background. I recently put some lights in my this way, in my install case. You can see them, or my figure case. I installed some lights. You can see them. They're pretty cool. Oh, you did some yakking? Nice. How was it? Yeah. It's so hot out. In my office, I have a desktop computer that just like spits out heat, and it's pretty hot in here. You can probably see I'm sweating. So I got this to keep me cool. Nothing like a medieval times mug that's worn down to keep you cool. Imagine how hot it must be in that armor, right? Like, you're wearing all that armor at medieval times and then it's 100 degrees. It has to like be hot. I read something about the One Piece like live action show, and the guy that played, I think his name is Wapol. Wapol is a character that ate the fruit where anything he eats, he can like turn into a weapon or something. I'm not, I'm paraphrasing, but it's like an eating power. He's always hungry. And the character wears like a big like suit, and they said that the actor kept getting overheated in the suit, so they had like things in place to protect them from the heat. But imagine if it was 100 where they were shooting. Like, that's crazy. All right, I'm gonna make my next move. We'll just keep things going. Oh, you do? You have a bunch of wooden swords from medieval times from when you were a kid? That's awesome. Last time I was there, I saw they had a really cool chess set, and I was like, ooh, maybe. I have chess sets from like different countries in the world, or from that I've traveled to, or family or friends have traveled to. I have like Greece, which has like the Greek gods. I have one from Lebanon, which has the cedar tree burned on the squares, like what is called wood burning, like wood burnt in the squares, because it's the national tree of Lebanon. I have a set from Egypt that has like pegs that you can stick, and it has little holes on each square, so it's more of a portable one. I have one from Portugal that when you open it up, the inside of it has like wine stuff. So it has like an aerator, it has a wine opener, it has this little ring that you put around the top of a wine bottle, and it prevents like the wine from like spilling down the bottle, so your hands don't get sticky if it spills. So yeah, I have a few different chess sets, but I saw the one in medieval times and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's cool. So let's keep going. I'm gonna play around with our knights, just move them around. Yeah, I love the merch too. I would go back to medieval times again. I actually like the food, and it is entertaining, and they have really good mugs. I have some friends that whenever they go, they have this like night costume, and they go for someone's birthday, and whenever they go, whoever's birthday it is has to wear the night costume, and it's like a fun little thing they do. So I don't know. I feel like people in the parking lot would stop them and be like, "Are you the king?" And they'd be like, "No, but it's my birthday." Let's see. Am I playing you, Jim's brother? Is this you playing? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, good. You went for a birthday someday in the last few years. Yeah. I feel like people go, they're like, wait a minute. What if we just do medieval times for my birthday? And then they like remember it's so fun and so cool. I have never been there and had my knight win. Not once. I've been there a lot of times. And my knight has never won. They're always defeated. Has your knight ever won? Nice. Yeah, take your time on your moves. If you have any questions, let me know. Right now it's like early in the game, so. Feel good. I recently organized my workspace here. You ever like, you have so much going on and you're just writing things down and then you're like, all right, I'm going to do this, do this, do this. And then you look and you're like, I have like 25 Post-its and they each have like things crossed off and then things pending. So then you like consolidate them and it just feels so good to know like what's going on with everything. Oh, it's possible your knight won? My knight has never won. The last 2 times I went, my knight turned out to be evil and got second place each time. And I was like, come on, so close. And then I come home and the next day I wake up and I'm like, I can't speak because I was yelling so much for my knight to win. And then I find out I'm yelling for evil. Ugh. It's frustrating. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like when they bring the falcon out and they have the falcon fly around. That's really cool. Would you have a pet falcon if you could? I think having a pet falcon would be really cool. You know, the hard part though, if you're training your falcon for battle, would be teaching it a falcon punch, because like they have claws. I don't know if can they do that in punch. Then again, I'm like, that's such a powerful maneuver. Is it safe to teach a falcon punch? You know, I don't know. If it's a guard falcon, like a falcon protecting your home, I guess you can teach it falcon punch, but I would rather teach the falcon kick so it can, you know, take the legs out from underneath any intruder. I think that would be more efficient. All right, let's do that. I'm going to open up my bishop on C1 to come out by moving my knight out of the way, and also get my knight to a square where it's pretty safe and I have the ability to move out later if I want. It is a ranged move. It is. And you have to charge it up. Like, so what if like you have an intruder in your home? You have your falcon. You taught your falcon punch, falcon kick. I think you have to be the distraction while the falcon warms up their falcon punch, because it takes a while. It's a move that takes a second to really warm up, and if they don't warm up, it's just a regular, like, it's like a tap, because falcons aren't too big. In Batman, I think they have the Falcone family. I think that was one of the families. Maybe it's from the Penguin series. Not once did I see one of them throw a Falcone punch or a Falcone kick. Not once. It's a little disappointing. Oh, I didn't show you my shirt today. It's a Pokeball pretending to be Pac-Man, chasing Pikachu, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander. And they are all Pac-Man ghosts. You know, I've been streaming now for like a month, and I think I have to get better at looking at the camera. I'm always looking at the screen, and then you can't see, and you know that I'm like looking at you. I'll look at the camera more. I think that's something I have to work on improving, because otherwise I can't see your next move. If I look into the camera, I can see exactly what you're thinking. Yeah. Oh, thanks. I bought 2 of these shirts because I liked it so much. There was a site I was on, and they had a deal. If you bought like 6 shirts, it discounted the price. And I only saw 5 shirts I liked, so I was like, we'll get 2 of this one. This was the top choice. I took my dog to the vet today. And it can, right? Like, you have to like really remember to look at the camera. So, but I'll get better at it. I took my dog to the vet today, and the lady, the vet that saw us was like, I remember you. You're the guy that had the cat shirt last time. I was like, which one? And I was wearing another cat shirt. She was like, it was a cat yelling, like looking scared because there was a UFO, like lifting cats. And I was like, oh yeah, because I have 3 of those shirts. And she was like, you have 3? I was like, yeah, I liked it a lot. So then I was wearing another one. It's like a cat in the middle, and it's like rings like an atom. It makes the cat look like an atom, and at the ends of the rings, it's like all things that cats like a fish, ball of yarn. And she was like, keep wearing cat shirts. And I was like, I only have like 2 more. So I have to remember which ones I've worn to the vet now, because I can't disappoint the vet tech. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the most exhausting time to look at a camera is if it's a backup camera on a vehicle, because you're going to be right by the exhaust. You know, it's going to be spewing. You're looking at the camera. That's exhausting. Yeah, so I don't know anything about fashion. I am not the fashionable one in this house. But I do like good t-shirts, and my wife actually likes t-shirts too now, like, because I find ones I'm like, this is totally you. She's like, what makes it me? And I'm like, oh, it's a unicorn that says, like, you know, leave me alone. That's totally you. And she's just like, yeah, and then she'll wear it. But she's like super fashionable. She has like a Poshmark, and Poshmark is like a site where you sell clothes or sell used clothes, and I don't think they show followers anymore, but at some point she had over like 10,000 followers for like her clothing collection. Okay, I see you moved your rook from h8 to g8. So generally I would say early in the game, try not to move your rooks. Rooks are not that strong until later in the game, when there's less pieces and they can really like go further. Also, rooks start in the corner, so their first move will always put them either in another corner or on the side of the board, and it takes 2 moves to get them in the center where they're strongest, because all pieces are strongest in the center. So moving a rook just to move a rook, there's definitely a better move. So I just wanted to let you know, if you're okay with learning, I don't want to give you unsolicited advice, but if you're looking to get a little bit better at chess, I got you. I'll teach you as we play. Yeah, also people like to leave castling as an option for later, because sometimes someone will just start attacking or developing an attack on one side of the board to go for your king, and then you can castle on the other side. Once you move a rook, you're not allowed to castle with that rook anymore, even if you move it back. So, okay, let's see. For me, I'm looking at the g5 move with my bishop. That'll pin your knight, and then your knight can't move because your queen on d8 will be taken if I do that. My bishop is protected there. You could push me away with h6 with your pawn. So I don't really know if it's something I want to do, but what we'll do instead is, how about we just move our pawn up? I'll start doing that. If the movement from your rook from h8 to g8 was because you were planning on pushing the G pawn, that means, you know, that's okay too. But I don't see an early benefit right now to pushing that pawn, considering pushing that pawn would put it, well, until you made that move, directly in the line of sight of my knight and my bishop. Now you have a protection with your pawn, so you have... so Jim's brother, have you ever played the game Risk, like the board game Risk? The board game Risk actually has a mechanic that I like to compare to chess, if you're familiar with it. In Risk, you roll dice when you're attacking, and so you can roll up to 3 dice as the attacker for like a territory. And for defense, the most you can roll is 2, right? So in Risk, if I'm defending and I roll a 6 and a 5, and you're attacking and you roll a 6 and a 4, I'll win both of those, because what it does is it compares our 2 highest numbers, and if it's a tie goes to the defense. Then it compares the second number, and if it's a tie goes to the defense. But if the number is higher in those situations, then the higher one will win, and attack will win. Chess kind of works the same way. If you have on a square the same number of pieces defending that square as I have attacking it, you will win the square if we play it out. So right now I'm going to use the G5 square as an example. We have my pawn on H4, my knight on F3, and my bishop on C1, all targeting that square. All right, they all come together and they hit that square. You have for defense your H6 pawn. So let's say you move your pawn from G7 to G5. Now your rook on G8 is also defending. So you have 2 pieces defending, and I have 3 attacking the G5 square. So if you go pawn G5 to G7 to G5, I go H4 to G5. I take with my pawn. You'll take back, so now we each have 1 pawn each. Then if I take with my bishop or my knight, the only thing you can take with is a rook, which is worth less points. So if you take with the rook, I'll take back. So not only will you get 3 points for the 5 I get from your rook, but you don't have any more pieces that can attack that square. So I'll also win the square, which means I win that piece of territory. And if you compare it, that's because you have 2 defenders and I have 3 attackers. However, let's say you had 1 extra defender. You would be able to take back on that last take I did and win that square. It's easier to see when you play it out, but I hope that makes sense. You know, some people are more visual learners and you show them by going take, take, take. But, you know, it's difficult here because trap chess, I can't like analyze. Once you make a move, it's final. So, okay, let me see what I can do next. I really like the position of my knight on B3. It's a good spot. So, all right, I'm going to tell you some of my thought processes here. So on the left side of the board for me, it's the A file, B file, C file, D file. Oh yeah, don't worry. You'll get the hang of it the more you play. A through D file, you have a lot of pawns on the light colored squares, right? So that means my bishop that is on F1 is going to be weak on that side of the board. So I can't put it over there. It can't do anything. It's going to stay on the light colored squares and you have all those like blocked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to move it out on the right side and just kind of leave it there for the future. Maybe I'll be able to do something later. So if I put it, for instance, on the G2 square, the F3 square has my knight. My knight will be blocking the bishop on the G2 square. But the moment I move that knight, it opens up the bishop to come through. That's called opening up an X-ray attack. So I could use the movement of my knight to target something else while the bishop attacks through, so I can attack more than one piece at once. And doing things like that forces opponents to make decisions that may be between a bad decision and a worse decision. And that's how you gain an edge in chess and then slowly go towards victory. Yeah, it's easier to see it visually, but I get it. It's I'll still try to help. There will be better scenarios that I can point out to explain this better. So if I see it again, I'll let you know. It's definitely going to come up. It's a very common thing in chess. I was doing lessons yesterday, actually, and we were talking literally about this. I was also talking a lot about poison pieces. Poison pieces is a cool thing. If I can set one up or like show you a poison piece, I will. A poison piece is literally you leave something open for them to take. They take it, and then them taking that piece maybe move defense off of a square that you now target, which causes a lot more problems for them. So it's basically like a trap. You know, it's not like a trap in the sense of a landmine, like a trap chest, but it's a like a strategic trap is what a poison piece would be. So I'll see if I can set one up for you so you can see it. Yeah, it's basically saying taking that piece is bad, even though it looks good. It's kind of like taking it is bad, even though it looks good. I feel like there's a good analogy there. Like, like taking an elevator if you're claustrophobic. So looking to take the elevator might look good because it saves you time, but it's bad because of the experience. I don't know. That's a terrible, terrible analogy. I don't know. Do I look like I know? If my wife is watching when I say that, she's going to be like, no, you don't know. No, you don't. Okay. So, yep. So I set up that X-ray attack with my bishop on the G2 square. That's just something for the future that I may be able to activate just by moving that knight. Yeah, take your time. Really think through your moves. If you have any questions, you can be like, I'm thinking of moving pawn here. Or, you know, because we do have the grid system on the board. So you can tell me exactly what you're thinking based on the grid. You can be like, I'm thinking F6 to, I don't know, to D5. And I'll be like, oh, well, let's look at it. When I was really young, I used to go to the mall, and there was a store that sold lava lamps, and I saw this one orange lava lamp, and I was like, that's so cool, I'm gonna get it one day. And then I never bought it, and that store, I think it eventually went away, the one that had it. And then I was at a yard sale or garage sale like 2 years ago, and I saw the exact same lava lamp, and they only wanted $5, and I was like, this is a great savings. It used to be 20 or 30, and now all I did was wait 20 years, and here it is for $5. You know, like I really waited for this sale. I'm really happy, and I bought it, and it lasted for like a week, and then it broke, and I was like, oh, maybe it's the bulb. So I got a new bulb, and it wasn't the bulb, so I got rid of it. And then I was at a store last week, and I saw that. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little off camera. That lava lamp. And yeah, there we go. Yeah. And it basically looks like the new model of the one I wanted when I was a kid. So I picked it up, and I'm very happy with this lava lamp. I don't know why. They're just cool, you know? Like you turn it on and it warms up, and then you watch it, and it's like, oh yeah. Just so fluid. It's fun to watch. Do you have a lava lamp, Jim's brother? I'm totally distracting you. That's my strategy. Distract and then attack. Oh, you don't? Oh, man. Got to change that. It's life-changing. Lava lamps are life-changing. Oh, that's cool. A fish shrimp tank? That's really cool. How many fish and shrimp do you have? Because I know, like, you can have a lot of shrimp in those tanks, right? And how big is it? Let's see. Okay. So I'll tell you something I'm looking at right now. That move that you just did took the defense off of the c6 pawn. Your knight, excuse me, your knight on b8 was the only thing protecting the c6 pawn. Now, I have my bishop set up with that x-ray attack on g2. If I move my knight out of the way, my bishop is attacking that square, and if I take that pawn, that's check and a fork. A fork means I'm attacking more than one piece. So I could check your king and then take the rook in the corner when you save the king. So I'm just pointing that out because that's why you set up x-ray attacks for the future. Sometimes your opponent will have to, they'll try to do something somewhere, and then you activate that x-ray attack and cause them problems. So I'm going to go... here. I'll do that. Why not? That's still cool. So, yeah, 7 gallons isn't a big tank, but it's still cool to have a fish tank. You know, it's a labor of love. There was this show that I watched where they would build people custom fish tanks, and I always said to myself, if I ever have enough money where I like have a surplus of cash and it's okay, I've always wanted to get a custom fish tank. I think they're so cool. I told my wife I want one that goes over like the pillows on the bed. So when you fall asleep or you go to bed, you look up and it's just fish swimming above you. I thought that would be cool. And she said, that's weird. So I don't know if I'm ever going to get that, but it was something I really look forward to. Okay. So I'm going to take the pawn on b5. Taking the pawn on b5 opens up my rook. It opens up my rook on a1. So it opens up that file so it can come forward whenever I want. Also, I'm doing it to kind of break apart your formation there. If you make a mistake and take with the c6 pawn back, then my bishop has a direct line to that rook the moment I move my knight off of f3. Yeah, that's totally true. That's what she said too. She was like, you want a wet bed? I was like, no, I don't want a water bed. I want a fish tank above the bed. Okay, I was pretty sure there was going to be a pawn landmine there. A tank in the wall? No, I don't want like artillery. I want fish. Sorry, it's not tank, you know. A tank in the wall is pretty cool though. Yeah, good. Good taking with the knight. The knight was the better choice. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to open up that x-ray attack on the g2 square because the c6 square now, taking that pawn there means I can attack your king, your rook, and your knight all at the same time. I'm not yawning on purpose. It's just been in the heat all day. It's so hot. I don't think anyone really yawns on purpose, right? All right, good. Good protection. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to bring my knights together because they're like best buds. So I want them to spend some time together. That's a possibility. I'm also looking at the possibility of doing a1 to a5 because if I trade my rook for your knight, you take back with the pawn and then I get the rook back in the corner. So, it's beneficial. Excuse me. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I do have, this comes back to that risk example I gave you earlier. I have 3 pieces attacking that A5 square, and you only have 1 piece defending it. So it's safe for me to take it here, assuming you didn't have a landmine, which you didn't. I was lucky on that. So that's a safe bet for me to take it, because if you take back, I can still take back, and I'll be up a pawn. If you don't take with the rook, or you move your rook away, I always still have other options too. It was a mistake, but mistakes are just happy accidents, I've heard. Yeah. Classic chess. I have a lot of pieces coinciding on that square. That's why it was pretty safe for me to go there. So now taking the knight isn't beneficial for me, because opening up that X-ray attack with my bishop on G2, it won't be able to hit anything. All right, let's see. I'm thinking. Okay. Let's do that. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. The only way to get better is from learning from your mistakes. So you're right where you need to be better at chess. You're doing a great job. The first step is playing or studying. I don't like the studying part. I just like playing. The studying part to me is just kind of like, you see me yawning now, just wait until you see me study. I'll like pick up my head off the desk, and there will be a book just from the sweat just stuck to my forehead. I wonder how large of a book I could get stuck to my forehead, right? Like, at what point does it become super comical, you know? You're like, oh, there he is with War and Peace stuck to his head. Okay, cool. Blocking my bishop, putting pressure on my knight, all good moves. So my response is to put pressure on your queen. No landmine, please. Good. Good, good, good. There's like a 1 second delay when a landmine activates, so when I make the move, I have to, like, my heart like flutters. I should have asked the vet about that today, right? Like, why does my heart flutter when I make a move in chess and expect a bomb? She would have been like, what? None of those things you said make sense. I'd be like, true. Yeah, protect the queen. Let's see what's next. So I'm looking at a couple things here. So I see your queen is on the dark colored square now, and coming out on the diagonal won't work at all, because I have on that side on b2, c3, d4, I have all dark colored square pawns. So that means essentially your queen can't do much more than it's already doing. I've blocked her in. So I can start launching attacks other spots and try to burn a hole in your defenses by forcing your defenses to scatter. So I'm going to start doing that. Yeah, I have a couple ideas here. I'm looking at a few things. So I have an idea to go like rook to like g1. That'll work especially well if you have a landmine on g5, because I was considering pawn up to g5. It threatens the knight. If you take, I take back. Opens up my H file for my rook to come down. If you run, that's okay too, because I'm considering getting my queen somehow to H7. And right now your knight is the only thing protecting it because the rook is moved. So, okay, that blocks that move. So let's try this. No landmine. Nice. Good for me. So far, I don't know if you see, but there's my defense is pretty solid. And I'm going to keep it solid. Each one of my moves, I make sure that something else is protected. And if you have access to anything, I make sure I double protect it or I block that access. I'm trying to take away your good moves. So eventually you're sitting there and you go, I don't have any good moves. And I look and I go, I have a few. And if I can successfully do that, it's a huge advantage. Does that make sense? Yeah, take your time on this. What what did you notice? Yeah, you've been doing a good job defending yourself so far. Thanks. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. Sorry. I'm trying to talk about it like from a teaching standpoint, but yeah, I understand your point. So, okay. I'm going to take this pawn and hope there's not a landmine. Nice. If you have a landmine on the H7 square that takes out pawns, you're in a good spot. If you don't, good luck, because it's going to be difficult to stop a pawn that close. But as you can see, I have my bishop on E3 protecting that pawn on H6. So pushing it forward, there's nothing in the way. I can just keep it there for now. It's protected by the bishop, but later, if I get it more protection, I can push it forward. It'll threaten your rook, and I can go from there. Let me see. Okay, we're going to push that pawn. No, you know what? First... okay, I'm going to do this first. I want to set up my rook so it can come through when I move my bishop as an X-ray attack on that pawn on G6. I can use... Interesting. Interesting. You don't like that pawn on H6? I love that pawn on H6. You don't like it? All right. Well, if you're going to attack me, I'm going to attack back. Ah! Pawn landmine. That means I lose my bishop too. Nice. Good job. Good job. That was awesome. Great job. I was thinking, like, target the rook moves out of the way, push again, you know. Yeah, you know, that's probably why you weren't too concerned about that pawn, but I pushed anyway. It's okay. Great play. Boom. Boom. Mm-hmm. Let's stop that pawn. It can't go any further. It's too much. At least I know now that maybe I can get that h4 pawn up because h7 doesn't have a trap anymore. h6 didn't have a trap. I don't know if h5 did, but we'll find out. I don't remember if I moved to h5. Let's see. You move knight to h5. Did I ever move anything to h5? I don't think so. No. So I wouldn't know if there's a trap there. I haven't moved my queen yet. Might bring my queen out eventually. I'll have to. It's so hot. Yeah, I'm thinking f3 bishop. Bishop takes knight on h5. Or because you can't take back, because if you do, the rook on g1 would take your rook on g8. So that's a possibility. I mean, just moving my bishop to f3 will immediately mean I have two pieces attacking the g6 square as well. My knight and my rook, so I can break through on that side. I also have d3 with my queen to put additional pressure. If the pawn moves at any point, I can just rush in there with my queen. I have some options. Yeah, there's some options here. Chess is fun. Oh, that may be a mistake. Your queen was the only thing protecting the c6 square from a fork. I hope there's no knight landmine. Please, no knight landmine. Yes. Good. Okay, so that's a fork. I know you're looking at the pawn on h4. That's fine. Checking me will make me move, and then you can move your rook to save it from the fork, but I will be bringing that second knight in. Yeah, if I just have to run with, like, my king, that's okay. I don't castle in many games. I see a lot more people castle in their games, or it's just fun to castle. They like castling because it's like a unique thing to do, but I don't really castle. I usually just move my king instead. So we're going to do that. Put my king behind lines and make sure it's safe. I think. No, you're doing pretty good. All right, I think I'm gonna put my knight back. Yeah, put it back where it was. I want to target that pawn on G6 again. Bring my attack back to that pawn. Maybe bring my queen into play. I got your rook to move off of the 8 rank though, so that means my rook can come down if I want and pin the bishop on C8. So I do have some moves. What? My rook is protected by my queen on D1, just so you know. So do that. Everything is protected. You're making me think now, James brother. I'm gonna start thinking like a lot more about like future moves. Taking the gloves off. Reminds me of those old cartoons where they're like take the gloves off and then they're just wearing other gloves, you know. Yeah, I can do that. So, I mean, my knight on b3 is blocking my queen from coming out, but my queen is also protecting my rook. So I think if I move my rook up to g2, it's protected by the bishop. You have to run with your queen. Interesting. Why are you doing that? Why would you do that? Let's see. All right. We're going to go for the pin. I hope there's no rook landmine. Ready, set. Rook landmine. Nice. Good job. Good job. Oh, man. That's rough. That's rough. Ah, there goes my rook. Boom. Good job. Okay, one rook landmine is gone. That means should be safer for my other rook to just start attacking. Yeah, it's 5 points gone. Good job. Did you knew that was there. Don't play games. You knew what you were doing. You're like, oh, I got lucky there. No, you knew. You knew. Good play. Good play. Let's see. I gotta bring my queen into the action now, but I'm afraid because my queen could hit a trap and I could lose her. I don't want to lose my queen. Yeah, I think you're up a rook now, right? Because you're my bishop. I got 2 knights, you're 2 knights. You're up a bishop and a rook because of traps. That's awesome. But pawn-wise, you only have 3 left and I have 5, so that's a difference. I feel like that's a trap. Like you're laying it out there being like, yeah, go ahead, take it. I'm not gonna take it. All right, let's I know what to do. Let's get your queen out of there. I'm going to put some pressure on that queen. I don't like that queen where it is, so... Then I think I'm going to bring... Yeah, I know what I'm going to do next. Okay. Oh, my lava lamp is starting to go. You can see it in the corner. I turned it on right before the stream, so. Yeah, I'm thinking after your move, I'll go knight c5. I think knight c5 is a good move. No, I mean, I could backtrack to knight c1 and then bring my knight back to d3. No, that's terrible. I'm not going to do that. It's not a good move, but knight c5 could work. Or, I know, how about knight a5? I was in my mind. I was like, I'm gonna hit a landmine, and that's gonna be the end of that knight. People will be like, oh, I would be like, I'm writing a book. It's called The Knight's Tale, and they'd be like, what's it about? And I'm like, losing my knight. Interesting push. Now let's see. Good move. So you have two pieces. So let's go back though to what we said about risk. You have two pieces defending that g4 square, and I have 3 attacking it. That means if we play it out, I'll win it in the long term. So I'm gonna attack it. I'm just deciding if I want to use my bishop or my knight first. Yeah, okay, bishop's better. We'll take with bishop. The reason taking with the bishop is better because if I go knight after, and it's threatening your queen, and then it threatens the f6 square, which is a fork on your king and your rook, and possibly your queen if you move your queen to the wrong square. Or your queen, you have to keep your queen protecting that square, which limits your movement. So we'll go bishop first. I like the idea of my knight surviving more, or surviving longer. It has like more plays right now than that bishop does, because you have pawns on the light colored squares, which makes it difficult for my bishop to get through. I have an idea. Oh no. That's a blunder. Your queen isn't protected. I have to take it. That's okay. Now, you have 2 pieces attacking the g4 square, so if we play it out, you would win there now. Yeah, you would win that square, but I mean, taking the queen was a big swing. I have some moves now to set up pins, and pins block your pieces from moving. So a pin is where you can't move a piece because a more valuable piece behind it would be taken. So like I have queen a4 pin the knight. If we play out on the g4 square, I have rook h8, pin your bishop. After going to a4, I have queen a8. I know it's safe because I lost a rook there. That's pinning the other bishop. The reason why I'm not good at chess is because that's mental load maxing out and making a wrong move. You know, it's a skill. The more you do it, the easier it gets. I think it's just a skill that you're not the most familiar with now. It's a game that you're still like learning, and that's totally fine. It's a game where you learn for your life. So I wouldn't beat yourself up over it. I would have gone nuts if that h8 square had a landmine too, because that would mean you had 2 rook landmines, one on a8, one on h8, both the starting squares of your rooks. It's almost like your rook sat there and then just decided, yeah, we're gonna play with fire here, and I'm gonna stand on this immune trap and trick my opponent to come here. What is going on? You're running your king? What? This changes everything. I'm changing my strategy. Go! That seems silly, but I have a reason for it. I want to bring my queen into action. I was going to bring my queen on the A file, but now that you moved your king that way, I'm going to bring my queen to the right-hand side. All right, so I think I can get that bishop pretty easily now. Queen F1. I moved the pawn out of the way for a reason. I want to break up the pawn structure a little bit because I have a feeling I'm going to be taking pieces in the middle. I just want to do that ahead of time because that, if you have both of your pawns lined up, they can't protect one another, and that's good for me. So you could take with the rook too. That's possible. Yeah, my move wasn't the best. I should have just done Queen F1, but that's okay. Let's see. You have 2 bishops and a rook to my queen right now. Oh. Why won't you leave my rook alone? Let me think. We'll do that. Protect the rook. Yeah. My knight on A5 is so lonely. Can our knights be friends? They're right next to each other. Why can't they be friends? They know each other pretty well now. They've been spending so much time together. Okay. No landmine, please. Whew. I thought I was going to lose my queen. Okay. We'll go rook because I know a rook landmine's gone already, so there's only 1 rook landmine left, but there are 2 queen landmines, so it's more dangerous to move my queen. Let's see. I'm looking for a way that I keep my pieces. I have less risk with my moves. I don't want to lose my queen to a landmine or my rook. If I lose either one of those, I'm going to have a difficult time here because I've already lost high value pieces. Let's see. You know what? Let's just go for the free piece then. I think that's the safest bet. Yeah, I'm looking for like safety while I attack, so it's difficult. Now I feel pretty comfortable because it's my queen to your rook, because we both have a rook and a knight. 4 pawns, so I'm up 2 pawns, and then it's my queen to your rook. So I feel pretty comfortable with that. Okay, I think I'm going to go for checkmate. I can go queen f8 if there's no landmine. Then I can go queen d8, and that's checkmate. So let's try that. Okay, safe. Step 1 is safe, okay? Okay, let's go for checkmate. I hope there's not a landmine. Yes, checkmate. Good game. Oh, your queen landmine was g8? I was on f8. That was 1 square away. If I was on g8, it was gone. If I hit e5, it was gone. Okay, really great game, Jim's brother. There were like good swings in that game. I had a really great time, and you played well. I'm going to put another code in the chat. So whoever wants to play, you can go to trapchess.com, enter the code, and play with me directly. 2KKKQD. Join. 2KKKQD. There we go. Yeah, good game. Good game. I'm going to, once again, I'll go down to 1 trap. Anyone playing me can use 16. When I lose a game, I'll increase my number of traps to 2. Good game. Is that you playing again with me, Jim's brother? All right, we're going to go for the center. Okay. We'll just do that. I don't know what I'm doing. Rematch? This is a rematch? I'm in. Okay. Okay. So, normally, if I was playing, I would just go pawn e4 to e5. But because of the risk of landmines, I could lose a piece. So I'd rather take one also. So we're going to take and hope there's not a landmine. Here we go. Cool. Okay. Oh, it's not you. Oh. So this is no longer a rematch. This is someone else is getting revenge. That's what this is. It's vengeance. Okay. My pawn is a sitting duck. Let's take what we can while we're there. So we're gonna go take. Pawn landmine. I knew it. Good job. Okay. So now you don't have to spend your turn taking back the pawn because the landmine did it for you and you get the option to do a different move. Nice. Okay. Oh, queen. You want to... So that pins my bishop on e3. My bishop can't move now. So we'll keep going. I'm going to... All right, let's start moving out other pieces. We'll do this. I wanted to move my knight, but the bishop would probably pin it. Whoever I'm playing seems to be big on pins, and I don't want to be pinned. So we'll do that. We'll do that. Bring out the knight. Do that. I'm going to put some protection so my bishop is able to move. Because I see, for some reason, I see them going like pawn g5, pawn g4. I don't know why it looked like an option, even though it would end up with a rook being taken. Cool. Whew! I thought there might be a landmine on that move on g5. But now I'm protected. I'm attacking that queen. Looks good to me. All of this for a pawn. Okay. Go for it. Take your pawn. I'm going to just keep layering my pieces in the middle of the board to take control of the center. So that knight was hanging, so I planned on moving it to the middle. Check again, okay. I'll push that queen away. Now my knight is protecting, so... I had to move the knight out first earlier so that my queen on d1 could protect the rook on a1 because they were going for that free pawn, which is okay. But now I'm able to, in exchange for that pawn, I'm able to attack my opponent repeatedly while developing my pieces, so it actually leads to an advantage for me if I'm able to do it properly because it only costs me a pawn. Let's see. Okay. Got some stuff going on here. Boom! I normally don't castle, but we're going to castle. I think castling is the right move here. I have a lot of protection on that side, and my opponent doesn't have a lot of attack on that side. So it makes things a little bit easier for me. Really? Thinking g3, and then if they go pawn up again, just go back. But they have the option to go h4 pawn. I'll have protection, so it's okay. Yeah, we'll do that. I can also take. We'll go a little bit defensive here before we switch to offense. Totally fine. I have things the way I want them right now. Yeah, we'll go rook there. This person plays very aggressively, but they're doing too much with their queen. It's going to bite them in the long term. I think. I could be wrong. Let's go after that queen. Put more attackers on that c5 pawn. This is called a, it's the opposite of a pin. It's called a skewer. A skewer is where you attack the more powerful piece, and when they move it out of the way, you take the weaker piece. So, yeah, they're going for that pawn again on the side. I'm thinking they can just have it, you know? But I have a plan. We're not going to let them just have it. We're going to keep attacking that queen. We're going to develop our pieces while we attack the queen so that we gain an advantage to go for the king and win the game while they just try to attack. Overextending the queen used to bite me when I was learning how to play chess. You don't want to do it too much. You can find yourself in a situation where you just don't have any good moves after a while, or your queen gets completely like stuck. Let me think. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna go. I have a lot of things set up. I have to find the right order now. So I'm thinking take pawn, no. Take there, no. Okay. I thought there'd be a landmine. I was pretty sure of it. Good. I have a plan. Are you still there, Jim's brother? You ready to watch this plan unfold? All right, so they did that, which, okay. I actually had a queen attack cooking, and I was going to go for the queen and take it, but that bishop move has changed my mind. Take this pawn. Check. Makes things a little difficult because of the positionings of my bishops. If you look, they're kind of putting a little bit of a stranglehold around their king. Yeah, I think the problem here is starting to be noticed. Yeah, I think they're starting to see the problem. Okay, we're gonna take with the knight. Knight landmine. Knight landmine. Nice. Nice. Really cool. Really cool knight landmine. Oh, man. It still works. It's still a check. And the bishop on e6 can't move because of the pin from the rook on e1. Yeah, they have to run. There's no choice. Okay. That knight landmine bothered me. That bothered me. That was I had a plan, and it ruined my plan a little bit, but that's okay. I hope there's no pawn landmine. Please, no pawn landmine. Safe. Yes. I'm going to take. I hope there's no bishop landmine. Ready? Yes. Free bishop. Nope. No bishop landmine, please. Corner attack from the queen. Corner attack. I'm pushing the king towards the corner, actually. This is working well. Let's get that rook out of the way. Me having that pawn on d5 and the bishop on e6 is so powerful because my opponent can't like get past that without losing something. And now I'm up a rook. What do I have? Queen's the same, rook's the same, knight's the same, bishop's the same. I'm up a rook and a bishop, so it's a big difference now. Do that. I'll go back. I took the rook for safety, but I think I see a way through this. Cool. I was actually going to sacrifice my knight on f5. That was the plan. So I know the queen's going to come over there. It's totally fine. Yeah, it's okay. The queen can't do anything to my king, so. Hey, we'll protect the bishop. The bishop has been good to me. I don't want to let it go. So my plan originally actually was knight takes f5. They take back, I take with bishop, and it's checkmate. They didn't take back, then I just can put my queen on g7 for checkmate. But they got rid of the knight. So, so that plan won't work. So I'll come up with something else now. The pieces in the corner can't do much right now. It's because the queen was used too much too early. So the moves to like fix that, just, you know, to prevent that weren't able to be done because then I just started attacking a lot. I don't understand. But we'll push through. Exactly what I want. Yeah, so I had a bunch of things set up as an attack on the king. So I knew this would work out pretty well because as I moved pieces out of the way, I was able to attack other things and it worked out pretty well for me. Okie doke. I really, the queen is preventing me from making the move I want to make. What do I do? Let's see. I sack the queen. All right, let's do this. Let's do a attack on the queen. I think that's the best move I have. Target the queen. I'm up points. Force trades. When you're up, if you force trades, you can move to the end game faster and win. So I'm trying to do that now. Oh, my lava lamp is going nice. What do you think of the game so far? Oh. Come on, no whammy. Yes, no landmine. Nice. Come on for checkmate. Nice. Good game. Good game. Let's see where those queen landmines were. Oh, wow. So if I pushed the pawn on d5, I would have been able to make it. But the moment I tried to get a queen on d8, I would have lost the pawn. That's interesting. Good game. Really good game. The main thing was the queen was used too much too early, which led to me being able to develop my other pieces. Launching attacks on the queen, forcing you to save it, letting me continue to develop. And then when I was developing correctly, I was able to then launch attacks on your king, which were hard to avoid without losing pieces. So that's basically what I was able to do there. I think I got time for one more. Let's go ahead and do one more in the chat. XG1 7DZ. Boom. I'm going to go down to one landmine like usual. And then, yeah. All right. We're going to start with, I'm going to do something different. I don't know. I was tapping randomly to try to do a move. I'm not moving that one. We'll go here. We'll go the pawn in front of the queen. Move the knight out. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Do that. And get my knight in the middle. That'd be nice. I don't have to worry about a trap on that square because it's on my half of the board. So if they take and I take back, I don't have to worry. We'll go... Yeah, we'll take. Okay, interesting. We'll attack the bishop then. I don't have to worry about, because I'm moving the f-pawn. The f-pawn is the weakest pawn to move, but I don't really have to worry about a threat diagonally because my opponent doesn't have any dark square pieces readily available. So I'm not too concerned about that. Okay. I haven't hit a pawn landmine yet. That's crazy. So we'll just take that. Apply pressure again. I have 2 defenders on that square and they only have 2 attackers, so defense wins if they decide to fight back. target that knight. Why not? Like, the music is so chill, but we're playing a game of war, you know? Okay. Take the knight. Move the queen out. That pawn is not protected, so... let's see. They're not concerned about the pawn. That makes me think there's a trap there. So we'll go knight. My pawn in the middle is like a central part of my attack, which is really cool. I like to include all my pieces. I'm gonna take the pawn. I hope there's no trap there. Good. Considering a few options here. Ah, they blocked the checkmate. Good job. There was a checkmate. Alright, we're taking that pawn. Nice. No trap. Good. Yeah, taking back with the bishop means I get the bishop. Hey, how's it going, the last Outsuki? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining us. We're playing some trap chess. Trap chess is a version of chess with hidden traps in the board. I only have one piece hidden right now. It's in the corner, so it's pretty much useless to me, but my opponent has 16, so it actually introduces a natural game balance through the introduction of risk. If you'd like to play the next game, you can go to trapchess.com and download the app. It's available in Canada, India, and the United States. Okay, we're gonna go here and hope there's no landmine. Ready? Yes, safe. No queen landmine. So if there was a queen landmine there, my queen would have exploded and that would have been it. I'll show you on the, no, it's not in Russia. I'm sorry. I'm working on getting it in other countries, but it's a slow process for me. I can take a look at Russia if you'd like. The reason it's in other countries is because they were requested so far. So I'll write that down. Yeah, and to stay in touch, you can subscribe, and if I'm able to get it in Russia, I'll do like an announcement. I'll put like a poll post, and I'll say it's in Russia now. All right, we're gonna take. Cool, no landmine. 25% of the squares on their half of the board have pawn landmines, so it's really cool that I'm not having to worry. I'm not hitting them, so it might work if you used a VPN. I know it's only downloadable in those countries, but I'm not really sure. You could try. I don't know the logistics of VPN, so I'm gonna go for the rook now that it's free. Nice. Keep launching my attack. Attack the queen. Okay. They attack back. Let me think. Because I'm considering sacrificing the bishop if it has an advantage, or gives me an advantage. No, I don't see an immediate advantage on giving up the bishop, so we'll just move the king out of the way. We'll keep it on a dark colored square because that will make it a little more difficult to get checked again. I'm going to take that pawn with my knight. Okay, cool. No landmines, so that means it's a fork on the queen and the king. Okay, go for the queen. Let me know if it works if you use a VPN, because I'm not exactly sure. Okay, move in the other rook. We'll take the bishop. I find it wild. I haven't hit a trap yet. I've kept most of my attack on my opponent's side of the board. This is wild. I had to say that. Rook landmine. I had to say I haven't hit a trap yet, and there it was. Rook landmine. Nice. No problem. Thanks for checking it out. I'm happy you got to see a landmine activate too. But yeah, if you want, subscribe, stay in touch, and you can get updates on the project that way. No problem, and I hope you have a great night and a good sleep. Let me see. That's not a checkmate if I go to h6 because of the knight on g8. All right, let's just do that. Set up for a checkmate. Yep, next move would be g7 checkmate. So yeah, and if you like chess, the last Atsuki, I play every Wednesday now. I do trap chess, so thanks for checking it out. Let's see. Yep, we'll take with the queen. I didn't want to. If I took with the bishop, I would have lost my queen. So there's no reason not to give it up like that. Check. Meep meep. Meep meep, Jim's brother. Meep meep. Just keep pushing it around, and then we'll go for the mate. Yep. I think this will be my last game. I gotta do some grocery shopping. Let's do that. Good game, good game. Oh, wow. There were 2 queen landmines right next to my queen on e6 and g6. That was close. Good game though. That was a good game. Yeah, I think I got to go grocery shopping before it gets too late. So, but thanks again, everyone, for playing with me. I had a really great time playing, and that was a lot of fun. Thanks, Jim's brother. Thank you, random person who wasn't Jim's brother, for playing with me. You rock. But thanks a bunch. It was great playing with everyone. And if you liked it, please subscribe. Have a great day.